So what the hell is this thing, and why is it tracking my face around the room? We call it the Ciggy shooter, and its main purpose is to deliver cigarettes at a distance.
Don't you guys hate iPad kids? They're the worst. So we were thinking of ways to make them cool again.
Cigarettes.
The coolest thing you can do is smoke a cigarette. Have you ever seen somebody uncool smoking a cigarette?
So the idea was to shoot the cigarettes, so we painted this as a representation. It sucks, but you guys get the point. Pretty much, pretend Zach there eating pizza as a fucking kid. No shot. No shot, dude. What the? Well, now that we got that over with, we decided that maybe that was a little too hard. So we bought a Raspberry Pi and got to work. We broke the automatic cigarette shooter down into 3 main steps. First, we started with software, as we need a way to detect faces and then see them inside a frame. And then we need the hardware to be able to launch the cigarettes at those faces. Then we need to combine those things so that we can see faces and shoot them. We started the entire project with the software. Believe it or not, one of the most exciting parts for us was seeing our faces on this camera for the first time and seeing boxes around them. We spent 2 weeks trying to figure out a software issue that actually was a hardware issue because the original camera we got didn't work, and we didn't know that. So this is the first time we saw the code working with a webcam showing our faces being boxed, and we knew that CV2 was working. Everything went really fast from there. This is like the first time we got it to actually track a face. We used 2 servos we got out of some Arduino kits we already had and just hot glued them to a magazine. And you can see it's actually tracking my face and doing a decent job, albeit pretty slow and looks pretty bad.
Here's a screen recording of what the camera is actually seeing when it's running on the Pi. So as you can see, it's showing what face there is, writing a box around it, and then printing out where the face is in relation to the center of the screen.
With software figured out, the next thing on our list was hardware. So after we knew we could track faces, we wanted to make sure it looked a lot better and could house these larger servos. So we 3D printed our first assembly, and this was just a way for us to continue testing, and it wasn't really a long-term consideration for the gun at this point. We just wanted to get the code down and make sure that it looked good. With our new enclosures and new servos, we went ahead and just retested it and made sure that everything was working well. This is me actually trying to change the code a little bit and make sure that it still works good with the new servos. We actually ended up going with a different kind of version. And you can see that with the new version of the code and the new servos, it tracks my face a lot faster and keeps me in the center of the frame. I can move up, down, left, right, and it works well.
After we figured out the face tracking code, we started working on actually launching the cigarettes. So this is us trying to figure out the spacing we wanted to have for our little flywheels. We decided to print our first prototype of the full gun assembly. It didn't really work. We were sitting here trying to push the cigarette through the barrel, but it just wasn't going.
So after doing a lot more tests and getting the spacing figured out, we wanted to have a more refined assembly. So I reprinted the base that held the electronics and the servos, and then we can mount the gun to this base. This is the base you actually end up seeing at OpenSauce.
Finally, we're moving on to integration, combining software and hardware together.
We went ahead and got to work on wiring everything up. Every single servo needed its own positive, negative, and its own signal wire. We went ahead for our first test of actually shooting a cigarette at somebody using the camera, and our friend Carmen was nice enough to help us out. Not very good. But after that shot, we kept testing and we persevered. Here it is, hitting him in the mouth. And once we finally got somebody who wasn't up there, for the first time we actually caught a cigarette. And this is the actual video that we submitted to OpenSauce. Who wouldn't admit us? And for the final step of the master plan, you already know what it is. We're headed to OpenSauce. We'll see you guys out there. Before getting to the fun stuff, I just want to give a quick shout out to Destin from Smarter Every Day. He took a big interest in our project and was just a genuine stand-up guy. They say not to meet your heroes, but in this case, it just made me like him more.
We made it to OpenSauce and it was awesome. It was super cool to see all the different booths and see what everybody built. After we got all set up, we started talking to some people, and it was really cool to see how interested they were in the cigarette shooter. So let's show you some of those shots.
Oh,
Thanks for watching our first video. It was a hard time getting this all edited and made. We're still learning a lot as we go through the process, what shots we need and how to do it all right.
Yeah, so we're going to keep making more videos and getting better at this, more fun projects. So please subscribe to us and we'll keep doing this. But I think overall we did do a good job of making people cool with cigarettes.
We love cigarettes.